This is chapter 2 of The Girl That Never Dies. The chapter name is Begin. The day begins with the girl waking up to Kari almost on top of her, and a newly discovered cut on the same arm that she received a rather large cut on the day before. "A cross," she said to herself, quietly. "It looks like a cross." The girl chuckled lightly for reasons unknown to even her. He had cut through the shirt. The girl gently pushes Kari aside, smiling, and trying to get up, but failing. Falling on her knees with a loud thud, Kari wakes up and comes to her aid immediately. "You shouldn't get up so fast," Kari says, helping the girl back on the bed. It'll work a little better if you just take it slow. But I think you should stay in bed anyway. You're still bleeding a lot, and I'm sorry. I know you're trying to help, but I'm not trying to help you. I am helping you. My father shouldn't do this, and it's my fault you're in this situation anyway." Kari raised her voice loud enough for her father to hear her downstairs. "What are you—" the girl begins to ask. I was the one who noticed you in the first place. I was looking out my window yesterday and just saw you outside our door. My father caught me staring and decided to answer the door. If I hadn't..." The girl touches Kari's back and looks at her in the eyes with a deep, forgiving stare. They both sit there in silence for a while until Kari's father breaks it. "You! I need you, girl." He grabs her by the arm that is now all covered in blood and various small cuts covering one big slice going halfway down her arm, starting at the neck. The girl cries out in... well, she doesn't cry out in agony, but maybe it's just a reflex. Remember, the girl does not remember much. She doesn't even know why she is like she is now, but she does know the feeling of being grabbed, and she does feel like she's running from someone, or something, and she is. The girl is practically thrown down the stairs. The man yells at her, something about never sleeping with his daughter, things like that. This sort of thing dragged on for almost 2 weeks until the girl fights back. "No more!" "What are you saying, girl?" "I said you can't do this. I won't let you do this to me. Not to me, not to your daughter." The man stares at her and knows if anything as bad is ever going to happen because of her outburst, it will happen right now. It did, and it was a bigger reaction than she expected. The man grabbed her arm and the blade and thrust the blade straight through her chest. Ah! The girl let out a deafening scream. I can't do this, can I? What are you going to do about this, huh?" "That's right, you can't do anything," the man says sadistically as he rips the blade out of her gut as violently as he can. The girl lays there on the floor, gasping for breath and clutching her stomach. At the same time, the man begins to laugh as she immediately struggles. I have to get out of here. I have to get out of here. It's the only way. It's the only thought running through her mind. I'm scared. I'm scared. That was another thought that she wished she wasn't thinking, but she was. She struggled and struggled, and all she could do is barely get to the door. She couldn't even get up, and that's when Kari came downstairs and stopped right at the base. Her face turned as pale as the girl's was at the sight of all of what was going on. It wasn't just a normal living room anymore. It was just a normal living room a day ago, but it's a blood-soaked horror picture now. The man turned around and walked away. The girl tried to speak, she tried to tell Kari what just happened, but it was a waste of time. The only breath she had left. She just wasted it. She passes out. It takes Kari a minute to actually process what happened. It was a truly horrible sight. Blood everywhere. Everything was trashed. The furniture was moved around. Kari rushed to the girl's side, slipping in a puddle of blood, and nearly fell on top of the girl. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Kari says in another raised and rather panicked tone. It's okay. Just help me up. The girl gasped for breath as she tried to get up herself but failed. I'll help you. Just stop moving, please. Kari panicked and raised her voice even more. He's coming. What? Your father is coming to coming to. The girl couldn't finish her sentence before she blacked out completely and was silent for so long before she finally came back to the world of the living. The girl awoke to the sound of crying and the feeling of something cold and wet. Tears. Someone's crying. Please be okay. Please wake up. Please. Kari couldn't hold it in any longer. She cried. She cried until her father came in and dragged her out. The girl caught the last bit before her eyes closed again, but not because she passed out, but because she didn't want to see it anymore. What do you think you're doing? Kari's father shouted angrily. I'm not. You're not what? I thought I told you. What did I tell you, Kari? Kari hesitated for a moment, but then she answered. You told me not to go up there. You told me not to help her, and the most important thing I told you over and over is she can't die. So don't even bother. That's right. She can't die, so don't even bother. Kari yelled and then ran back upstairs. Before she ran to the girl's room, she turned around and said, "I'm gonna help. Because even though she can't die, she can still feel the pain you caused. It also doesn't change the fact that she's bleeding all over the place." The man grunts and goes outside. Kari walks slowly to the girl's room and afraid to go in and see the horrible sight and hear the girl's periodic moans. Yeah, that would make anyone hesitate to go into her room, but Kari walked right in as quiet as she could, so she wouldn't disturb the girl. To her surprise, the girl had her eyes open. She was awake. Are you... Kari tried to ask her what she was doing, but found herself looking away in terror. I'm better, the girl replied weakly. I mean, I feel a little better now, that I'm not on the floor anymore. You'll feel even better once I figure out how to take care of this mess. It's okay. No, it's not okay. The girl just looks at Kari in silence for a minute and flashes a faint smile. I'll feel a lot better once we get out of here. What? Kari looks up questioningly. Did you just say we? Yes. We're both going to get away from him. Kari and the girl look at each other. It's a little later and Kari is sitting down by the girl's side. Tension is high once again. The girl is panting and gasping for breath. This is bad, Kari thought. She's really warm, and I don't know how to take care of this wound. Hey. The girl opens her eyes slightly and holds Kari's hand gently. Huh? No, you're not okay. Can you help me up? What? Why? Just because. I just need to go to the bathroom for a minute. Huh? All right. Kari hesitates until she sees how the girl looks and thinks she knows why she needs to go to the bathroom. Kari helps the girl out of bed slowly and handles her as carefully as she can. Luckily, the bathroom is right across the room. It's just like, do you want me to go in there with you? No, it's fine. The girl stumbles into the bathroom and falls close to the toilet. She sits there and pants for a minute until her face is completely flushed and she starts throwing up almost violently. It's 15, almost 20 minutes later when she stops and falls backwards into the dirty clothes pile behind her. Breathing heavily and rapidly, she says to herself, "I've been really sick. I've broken bones. But I've never been stabbed. I don't think I can take it anymore. It only just happened and I already can't take it anymore. Die. Die." "Why won't you just die already?" The girl ends up saying it out loud, and to her surprise, she was crying. I mean, I'm actually crying. I don't ever cry. I think I don't ever cry. How am I supposed to know that anymore? The girl lets out a huge, painful sigh and gets up as far as she can by herself and digs her face in her knees, ignoring the pain, the blood, and the tears. "Are you okay?" Kari walked in and saw how much of a mess she was. The girl doesn't notice. Kari comes closer and kneels down to comfort the girl. The girl looks up. Car, it's okay. You're gonna be okay. We will escape." The girl says this quietly and closes her eyes. "You need to calm down and..." The girl smiles and tries to move her, but it's hard because the girl is bigger than she is. But it works. Only because the girl is half awake, but just only long enough to get to the bed, and then she's all the way out of it. It's the next day, and Kari is awake to the sound of her father yelling at her from her room, from the bottom of the stairs. Before seeing what it is she did wrong this time, although she was sure she already knows, she looks at the girl and smiles. The girl is sleeping in the bed, huffing and puffing. "You're still really warm, but at least you calmed down a bit. That's good." Kari touches the girl's forehead for a second, and then proceeds down the stairs to her father. "What is it, Father? What is it that you want now?" Kari talked in a very composed and calm manner. She knew whatever it was he was going to tell her, that she could... She knew whatever he was going to do to her could not be as bad as what he did to the poor girl who was up in her bedroom, bleeding out and as warm as the summer sun blazing up in the sky right now. "What is it?" Kari can't finish her sentence before her father slaps her. He hit her with such force that she was nearly up against the wall. Kari slid her back down the wall slowly and let her head fall. She sat there almost in tears. As her dad walked away with a great sense of accomplishment, she sat up the flight of the stairs, head limp, tears falling to the floor and slowly soaking up the carpet. A minute later, she holds her head up slowly, the furious and determined look in her tear-filled eyes. These are not tears of sorrow. These are not tears of anger. You cannot believe what's... You cannot believe what tragedies have come to meet her. She sits, she stands, she waits, and then she walks. As she walks, she talks to herself, content, contemplates whether or not to go through with the girl's plan of running away. No. There was no thinking to be done anymore. She knew what her decision was. Kari went to the back of her room, and to her surprise and delight, the girl was awake. "I want to run away with you," Kari demanded. The girl looked at Kari in amazement. "You do?" the girl asks. The girl asks. "You... Yes," Kari replied firmly. "You do know it's probably pretty dangerous." The girl said curiously, "I know, and I don't care. I want to leave now." "He hit you, didn't he?" she stated as if it was just that obvious. Which it was. There was a big red mark fading away from her face. Kari hesitated for a moment, and aware the tears that are now making their way back to her eyes. "Yes. Okay. But what? Is something wrong?" "No. Not with me. I just don't know. I mean..." Kari didn't know how to put it. She thought the plan was crazy, but only because it was impossible for the girl in her present condition. "Don't worry. Don't worry. I can actually stand up now, see?" The girl slowly but surely stood up on her own. But... And that was the end of chapter 2. Yeah. I tried reading another chapter. I'm sorry I haven't read anything in a while. I just kind of stopped for a while since my voice and coughing and all this other stuff. So, hope you liked it. I might actually read the whole thing since that would probably be a good idea to do something with the whole thing. Anyway, hope you liked it. Thanks for listening. Bye.